Hi, my name's Joe, and I am still a fat black belt. And today, I want to talk about forms because I have talked quite a bit about the fat part of this channel and not enough about the black belt part of this channel. So, update first. Dinner went exactly as planned yesterday. Chicken, green beans, one piece of pizza. I felt good about that. I had a couple of peanuts and a Yasso bar before bed. Everything's on track. Breakfast today was normal for Friday: 4 egg, chicken, bacon, cheese, omelet, and that's it. I haven't eaten anything else because, it's like 2 o'clock right now, so I'm not hungry. We are eating something on the way out of town. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be one of those chicken wraps from Wendy's, but we'll see how it goes. Ooh, and a baked potato. Love those. So let's talk about forms. Yesterday I had wanted to do all my Taekwondo forms, and I didn't get a chance to do it because I got stuck clean. I didn't get stuck. I cleaned the living room, and that was more important than doing forms. So forms happened today. Here's the thing I'm noticing lately. Previously, when I would do my forms, I would do them kind of in my living room. There's only so much space in a living room. And some of those forms fit great in a living room. Palge 1 is pretty small. Palge 6 is very big. There's jumping, right? So what do you do in that situation? Because what'll happen is, I'm hitting the end table, I'm hitting the couch, I'm hitting the refrigerator sometimes, especially with some of the Taeguk forms, I hit the refrigerator. So what am I doing here? Choreo puts me almost in the kitchen. So what I do is I just adapt, right? I used to reposition myself. I would stop and then I would shifty to the other side of the room and then I would continue to the form. I don't do that anymore because I'm not on an open floor. I'm not being tested right now. I know these forms. So if you know them very well and you're not in a place where you're one of those people who doesn't know your forms and you're going to forget them, if you know them, then you can make adjustments. You can say, all right, well now I'm going to turn this into a 270. I'm going to turn this I'm going to turn this into a step back side kick. I'm going to turn this into, sort of a grab and pull kind of situation. You can fiddle with them just a little bit and get to the point where they work for your environment. I think that's a really good mental exercise. I think it's a really good physical exercise. So that's one of my strong recommendations for today. Give it a shot, see how that goes, especially if you know what you're doing with your hands and your feet, right? One of the things I like to do when I'm training forms at home, because I don't have a huge amount of space, is I don't make them about stances. I make them about, I try to make them a little more practical, right? What does this thing look like in a fight? Because it is all well and good to have like a jumping back fist into like a double low knife hand into a breakaway. It's all well and good to do that, and it's all well and good to do that with the big stances when you're in studio. But when I'm in my living room, or for example when you are using martial arts as a practical means of self-defense at some point in time in your life, the metrics change a little bit and you want to be adaptable, right? So maybe you turn that stance into more of a walking stance, into more of a back stance, right? Maybe you turn your jump into more of a skip or into more of a step across, and just work it out in your head, and you're gonna see that there is a lot of truth in the fact. What is that thing people say? A strike is a throw is a, or a strike is a block is a strike is a blow is a throw. Yeah, a block is a strike is a blow is a throw. Anything you're doing in the martial arts can be a block, or it can be an uppercut, or it can be a hammer fist, or it can be you throwing somebody, you hauling somebody's limbs up so you can get under them. Just work with it, right? Just play with it. Because I promise when you go back to the studio, you're not going to forget what a front stance is. You're not going to forget how a low block works, right? You're not going to forget how to double low knife hand in the back stance. This stuff is in your muscles. It's in your brain. It's going to come back out, especially when you're in the same place. This is really important. Place-based memory is a real thing in the martial arts, right? So you go to your studio and you're like, oh, I do this form facing this way. And maybe some of you haven't had this experience. I have. If not, do it. Just turn around. Just do your form facing another direction in the same studio, and it will kind of change the way you perceive it. It's weird. It shouldn't be weird, but it's weird. Anyway, so that's fitness out of the way today. That's food out of the way today. We are, heading off for a visit with my mother, and it's going to be... We'll see. We'll see how the food goes. I'm going to do my best, is what I'm going to say. I'm going to do my best without completely rocking the boat. So we'll see how that goes. I am going to check in on that stuff. Expect maybe some food shorts. Maybe even with some weird filters, because my selfie camera is just awful. But maybe we'll get like some cool, like, Joe's eye view of food as it goes into not as it goes into my mouth, but, as it comes on the plate. Maybe I'll do I'll just pretend this is Instagram for a few days and like throw some of that together and clip it together. We'll see how it goes. Catch you later.